It's time for another NFL Draft Film Room, and on this episode, we're going to take a look at Georgia defensive lineman, edge pass rusher, Mykel Williams. Here's a guy that's been talked a lot as a potential first-round pick for the 2025 NFL Draft. So what I want to do, if you're not familiar with these episodes, I like to highlight different clips from his games to kind of showcase the type of player that he is and how he can translate to the NFL. So let's not waste any more time. Let's take a look at the 6'5", 265-pound defensive lineman, Mykel Williams. Now, when you look at Mykel Williams, the first thing you'll notice is he's a tremendous athlete. Here he is lined up. Three technique. He lines up the 3, the 5. He kind of moves all around from the 3 technique out. And they're going to run a simple loop with him, and just his lateral agility and ability to get upfield. You see the looseness in his hips. You see the ability to go both laterally and up the field. And it's just things like that that just really stand out for a guy, as I said before, is 6'5", 265 pounds. On this clip, we see Mykel Williams out here on the edge. And once again, going with his athleticism, here he gets kind of pushed out a little bit by Proctor, the left tackle. But he just shows that ability to dip that shoulder and get to the quarterback. Once again, just showing that athleticism, that burst that we see out of him. He's just a good athlete. He's big, he's long, and he's fast. Also here against Alabama, we see Mykel Williams out here on the edge. And this is going to be a little zone read action. He's sliding down to kind of play this. And it just shows that quickness and burst to get out. Now, Jalen Milroe is able to get the edge, but that's his strength. He's a running quarterback. And Mykel, against most quarterbacks in the NFL, I guess, maybe not a Lamar Jackson or that, but Mykel Williams is still able to get out here, string Milroe out, and allow one of his teammates, this linebacker, to be able to make the tackle for a short gain, if that. So, but just that ability to slide, redirect, get back outside, and extend him out so he can't turn that corner sooner, just goes to show his athleticism. Like I said, keep saying, at 6'5", 265 pounds. Now, one thing about Mykel Williams is he's raw as a pass rusher. He oftentimes utilizes and relies solely on his athleticism. Here he is lined up, the 4-eye-ish, and he's going to kind of go against Proctor at left tackle, and he's able to he'll do a little bit of a swat, and then tries to do his rip, and is able to get some pressure, but one of his teammates gets to the quarterback first, plus the ball comes out. But this is the extent of his pass rushing moves, is his athleticism, using that lateral move to the outside, and then just, bare minimum hand fighting to try and get pressure on the quarterback. But because Mykel Williams does have his speed and his size, he is able to kind of use that to set up. Here he is out here about the 9 technique, and he's just going to do a simple speed to power. Push up field, getting the right tackle to get back on, trying to get some depth, and then just accelerates forward and knock him into the quarterback, and force the quick pass. His ability to push this right tackle back, knock him off balance into Milroe's lap, forces him to have to throw this awkwardly and off balance to that receiver, who probably should have caught it. But Mykel Williams is bull rush here, speed to power on this right tackle, caused Milroe not to be able to step into his throw. And, maybe this pass gets completed if it is a little bit higher, because Milroe is able to step into it. But like I said, just that ability, because he has that speed around the edge. We did see his ability to kind of dip that shoulder and get around the edge. Because he has that right tackle has to honor it, and then he can get caught in that speed to power. Now, if we turn our focus away from pass rushing and as a run defender, we see here against Clemson, Mykel Williams is lined up here once again, kind of 7-ish technique in a condensed formation. And Clemson's going to run the ball, little quick toss to his side. And what I love here about Mykel Williams is you see how he's angled in like he's going to rush the quarterback. But at the snap, he's able to turn, see that this is coming, turn and engage with this tight end. But then I just love his tenacity and his ability to move out to help make this tackle. Sometimes your pass rushers get caught up in this. He's able to use his length, use his strength to fight through that block, get down the line, and help make the tackle. All right, on this clip, this last clip I want to show you, it shows how he's able to use his athleticism, his lateral agility to affect the pass game. Lined up here on the left side, 5 technique-ish. We got an extra defender, right, extra offensive player right here, tight end. And at the snap, they're going to do, zone read, fly, sweep, action. But he's kind of left, it looks like, to be the read guy based off of this, or maybe they're just trying to trap him right here. Regardless of the fact, he's able to see that coming, uses his lateral agility to get outside to avoid the block, so he didn't have to take it on. But because of that, he's able to get free and then redirect back over to get the tackle for loss. Some guys are able to take on this block, hold the point of attack, and then shed off to make the tackle. He uses that lateral agility, that quickness to get to the side, to get upfield, and then to make that tackle for the loss. And I know Klubnik looked like he kind of slipped a little bit here, but regardless, I don't think he was going to get past Mykel Williams in this situation. Overall, there's a lot to like about Mykel Williams, and you can see by watching him why there is people mocking him early or mid in the first round of the 2025 mock drafts. You can see why there's a lot of love for him. As I've said too many times, 6'5", 265. He's super long. You saw in that last clip when he's celebrating, he put his hands out wide, and you see the length. You see the speed. You see the athleticism. So there's a lot of potential there. However, he's still very raw. He doesn't have good pass rushing moves. He can kind of get locked down at times as a pass rusher. And so he's not this refined product that's coming out that if he was a guy that had good pass rushing moves and a little bit more developed, he looks like a guy that'd be a easy top 10 pick because of his size and his speed. But because you have to develop him, that is, causes me to pause a little bit. He reminds me a lot of a fellow Georgia defense. He reminds me a lot of Trayvon Walker, who was the number 1 overall pick a couple years ago, coming out of Georgia. Another guy that kind of played both inside and outside at Georgia, didn't have big sack numbers. Mykel Williams only has 3 sacks on the season so far. Now, when I'm doing this, there's still a couple games left and probably the playoffs for him. But he's only got 3 sacks, 7 tackles for losses. He's had 4.5 sacks the last 2 years. And I know Georgia's just ridiculously deep and they rotate guys. But it's a lot like Trayvon Walker. He doesn't have gaudy numbers. He's raw. And Jacksonville took Trayvon Walker, number 1, based off of his potential. And they thought he could develop into a elite pass rusher. And he's took some time and looks like he's maybe starting to turn the corner. But Mykel Williams reminds me of that. Good size, good length. He's a height, weight, speed athlete who you're banking on your coaches being able to develop him. Traits-wise, I think he's got good traits. He's got that elite athleticism. But to me, he's a boomer bust. These guys that come out that are ultra athletes but aren't developed pass rushers, I worry about them. And I think he's probably still going to be a first-round pick because of his athleticism and all that. But I think there's a good chance that there's a 50-50 chance that he's either going to develop into that guy or he's gonna bust out, and that's why I gave him that boomer bust rating. So I hope you enjoyed this Mykel Williams film room, getting a good idea of the type of prospect that he is. If you like what you see, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for the notifications as well. If you're out on social media, make sure you follow me, draft_Brian. Wherever you get your social media, I'm there at draft_Brian. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Until next time.